Yeah, I mean, he's a tough guy. He's a good kickboxer. He looks very strong and aggressive, and looks like he throws hard kicks and hard punches, and like I said, a very tough guy. So it's gonna be a good fight. Well, yeah, I mean, so I live in Denver's, Mile High City, but Mexico City was, I think it's close to 3,000 feet higher. Yeah, that was a very bad mistake on my part, not researching it thoroughly enough to realize that it was going to be that big of a difference. Um, so yeah, that was definitely a big mistake, and not acclimating long enough, and I just showed up the week of the fight like I normally do, and that was a big mistake. So, oh, I mean, it's definitely something I've considered and looked into. The only time I've been knocked out was when I fought at 170, and I did a lot of research, and basically, as much as I was dehydrating myself to make 170, you can't completely recover. And one of the things that happens is your brain has a thing called cerebrospinal fluid that encases your brain, and it helps protect your brain from concussions, and so I've seen it quite a bit now that now that I'm wise to these facts, that guys who are cutting a lot of weight, their chin is not the same in their fights as it is in training, and so that's number one thing. Number two, I'm very smart with the way I train, with the sparring I do. I have a long career, but I only did hard sparring for, I would say, a short period in my career, and mostly that was when I was doing boxing. I do a lot of technical sparring now, and you'll see a lot of the best strikers, they do technical sparring. They use speed, but they don't you know they won't punch hard in sparring and kick hard in sparring, and it, you know it, it's a style difference, I would say. If you do that kind of sparring, you're going to become very tough. Um, but I think the more skilled fighters tend to do lighter sparring. You look at a guy like Stevie Thompson, uh, and I've trained with Steven several times, and he's flown out here to Denver. I've trained with him up in at his home and up in Montreal, and he always, and he does the same kind of sparring that I did when I first started, which is um, it's continuous sparring, but it's light contact, and you can develop your speed and your timing, and all these things, and you can develop new moves without being worried about getting knocked out or getting damaged. It's just a lot safer, a lot smarter, and you can spar more. I can go half hour straight doing technical sparring with high level guys, and um, I think that's a big part of it. I've been smart. I've went and done impact testing, and had tests done with neurologists, and um, I'm part of a brain study called, I forget what it's called, but it's with the Cleveland Clinic out in Las Vegas, and yeah. So it's something I'm not worried about it, because I'm addressing the issue to make sure that there is no issue. He has a lot of very good qualities, and one of his best things is he's very generous, very generous guy, and um, he's accommodating. He's very helpful. He helps people out, and so people are just attracted to that, and he's able to build a very strong team. And a lot of it is just based on his character, and he was very. When I first started training out there, the team was fairly small, and it was it was just Greg's openness to have people come and train, and he was never worried about like politics or things like that. He was just very, like I said, very open and accommodating, and if I needed to go train at places, he would let me, and everyone was welcome there as well. So no, I don't. Yeah, that'd be hard for me to say that based on, I think I train with guys, and they're just naturally gifted. Uh, some guys there's different kinds of athletes, and there's explosive athletes, and there's explosive and strength athletes, and there's endurance athletes. Um, and that's one of those things like Neil, man. His endurance is off the charts, and that along with his reach and his ability to fight on the outside is going to give guys big problems. So I think it's a great fight for Neil. Basic Based on Neil's reach, and his fight style. Uh, I think it's going to be hard for Hector to catch Neil, just because of the reach difference. And even if he is able to, Neil's he's strong enough where if he gets caught, I think he's going to be able to recover and either move around with his footwork or tie him up or whatever. And yeah, Neil's reach is going to be a big problem for Hector, and I believe that's going to be the biggest the biggest thing in that fight. Whether it's on the ground or on the feet. Um, in my opinion, Hector has a very small chance of winning that fight, and that would be just to catch him with a punch as he closes the distance. But it's going to have to be one or two punch combination that just flattens Neil out, because if it just rocks Neil, he'll recover and he'll continue dominating and controlling the fight, and or he'll tie him up and take him to the ground, whatever he has to do. So yeah, I think it's a really good fight for Neil. Yeah, not at all, because first of all, I had confidence in my abilities as a grappler, so to be able to stay out of his submissions. And I knew he was more of an ankle lock guy anyway, and when I first started training, that was like my thing. So I kind of stopped using them as much, but I definitely feel comfortable defending ankle locks and knee bars and stuff. So
I remember I thought it was cool when they'd go 30 seconds left and the whole gym would turn and watch me and Shane Carlin plant our feet and just slug each other in the head. And we'd get done like high five. Then I'd get in my car and throw up. Jeez. And Shane would call me and go, dude, I forgot where I was going.
Yeah, I mean, if Brendan ever went toe to toe with Shane, there'd definitely be a loser on that one. Brendan was more of a movement and a speed guy, so if he was able to stick to that game plan, it would work well for him. But if it was trading with Shane, that's not going to work out well for anybody. Oh yeah, I mean, I want to do the best I can in this sport. I really believe in the skills that I have, and the abilities God's given me, and I know that that given the opportunity, there's nobody out there that I couldn't beat, and so I just I want to take it wherever God leads, and if my next fight is my last fight, then I'll be happy, and if I'm able to fight till I'm 42 years old, I'll be happy. So it's kind of just I got to trust God, whatever He has planned for me. I think I had my first fight in like 1999 or 98 or something like that. So uh, yeah, I mean, it was nowhere where it is now. I probably, if everything was the same as it was back then, I would have quit a long time ago, just because I'd accomplished quite a few things, but at this point, there's still a lot of things to do, and it is, it's a way for me to provide for my family. So if you guys want to check me out on Twitter, it's at Nathan Marquardt, Facebook, Instagram, my website, natemarquardt.com. Thank you guys for your support.